Hi, I'm going to talk about something that I've spoken about in my last video. It's on the same. It's taking the same direction. Uh, for all those people who do not sometimes they cannot see things clearly. There is a fog ahead of them. So and I'm talking specifically about their careers. The last video that I made was about the region that you're staying in and how do you find out which region is good for what. And that was the time I had mentioned a few concepts that are available in economics, uh, like if you have the growth rate of a particular sector, uh, be it agriculture or industry or tertiary or research or whatever, if your region excels in a certain sector compared to the other parts of the nation, the growth rate of it, then you would not be swimming upstream. You would, or the situation would be conducive for you. But this is not what you're here for. Seeing the thumbnail, this is not what you're here for. And I learned about certain thing called uh, dermatoglyphics, where what they do, they study the ridges of your fingertips and other parts of your palm, and then they tell you what are you good for. So that's also a great way of finding. There are people who are the professionals who could help you do so. um, but there are certain things that may make you think otherwise. You may not go for that test. You might not be in that age. You have already spent quite a bit of time in pursuing a certain career, so then you see no point. You just want to have mm, an idea nonetheless. Second, even in small towns, this particular test costs around uh, 5,000 plus. So for it's almost like all those kids who don't have money, they don't have the right to know, because 5,000 is the least minimum. Most of the tests, if you Google it, that connect to finding to help you find your aptitude, that they cost around 10,000 plus 8,000 plus, and 5,000 is the least minimum amount. So there could be a number of reasons. I'm here to talk about something that mm, I I read about, I observed ever since I was little, about palmistry. Now, this is not something that I am and this video is not something that I'm making after reading a lot of books or websites, because that is something that you can do yourself. Because there's so many websites, there's so many books. I was gifted on my birthday uh, Kiro's book on palmistry. They're not everything that there's so much. The world of palmistry was new to me, but not I did not conquer with everything. And how do you know you're not agreeing with what you are reading? Because somewhere in your head it doesn't make sense. So when it doesn't make sense, you feel, that there are missing pieces. Maybe because the book that I had did not explain everything in a great detail. Whatever be the case, great book, but not it did not answer all my questions. So I'm going to share with you a few things that I found that are connected to help. That are connected to helping you um, find find or at least have an idea whether you're in the right career. So after good amount of introduction, almost 10 minutes gone. Here we are. So first of all, if you have slightest bit of idea about your horoscope, I'm talking about the Vedic horoscope. You can also refer to your, if you have the Western horoscope, it is made in a different way, whereas Vedic horoscope is made in a rectangular way. So this is your first house, second house, third house, fourth house, and you reach the 10th house, which is the midheaven, the highest point of your horoscope. So see, imagine a circle. Imagine a circle or a rectangle, the highest point, which is tilted in the, which is tilted in the in the space. Okay, that's your horoscope. Now the highest point of that particular horoscope is your 10th house. So imagine a bangle that's sloping downwards, and the topmost part of it, portion of it, is the 10th house. That's how people see you. Okay. So your social, your career, your social, the social aspect of your life, your career. Okay. So that can be, it can really give you a good deal of idea. So let's say if a person is a Capricorn, which is a cardinal sign. Cardinal sign is the sign in which who are go-getters. They start, it's starting something new comes very naturally to them. So because every cardinal every cardinal sign starts with a certain season. So let's say Aries, it starts with summer. Then Cancer, it starts the emotional outpour in form of water or rains. And then Libra, start of something, a colder season. Then Capricorn, the another season. So that's how they are starters. Then you have fixed signs. Fixed signs are the ones that are very good at execution of ideas and plans. And mutable signs are great coordinators because they can see many different perspectives. Because let's say like Gemini, Virgos, Sagittarius, and Pisces, these are the mutable signs because they occupy a month which has two seasons. Let's say March. So winter is ending, summers are beginning. I'm talking strictly in terms of India. Excuse me. All right. So you just check out your 10th house. So if somebody is a Capricorn, his or her 10th house would be another fixed sign, sorry, cardinal sign. Capricorn is a cardinal sign, so his or her 10th house would be um, a cardinal sign again. So uh, Libra would be his 10th house. So people would view him as somebody who's skilled, refined, and whatever features that you connect Libra with. So you can check out your own stuff. So if you have interest, like somebody is a Virgo, so mm, his or her 10th house would be Gemini. So they can do something connected to uh, mm, assimilation of ideas, thoughts, new strategies, new techniques. So technology, they can be great at technology. Okay, and if somebody is a Virgo, I just said, I just spoke about somebody is a Gemini. So 10th house would be Pisces. Pisces is all about research, going deep into things. Okay, so this is what you can do. Now we are talking about palmistry. You know that there's one active hand, there's one passive hand. If you write with your left hand, that's your active hand. If you write with your right hand, that's your active hand. The other hand is a passive hand. Now you're born with, there are so many different interpretations of it, but what I have found is that there is a certain difference in the lines that you have in your active and passive hand. So just check out your passive hand. That's something that it's a long term map, and it's just a long term map, it's not a permanent map. So you can refer that passive hand and see whether you're actualizing the potentials that are visible in the passive hand. So if Mount of Jupiter, which is this, is well developed in the passive hand. So Jupiter is all about wisdom because that's Guru, Guru planet. Guru is all about wisdom, ambition, confidence, expansion. That's what gurus are associated with. Okay. So, and if your amount of Jupiter is not very developed in your active hand, please work on this aspect so that your potential is realized. So now you know the first point, if I were to summarize, is check out your 10th house in your horoscope. If you know nothing about horoscope, forget about it. At least know what sign you are. If you're a cardinal sign, that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, you're good at starting new things. If you're fixed sign like Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, you're good at execution of ideas, maintenance of things. Mutable sign, great at coordinating things. So, yeah. So these two things, you know. Now, with hand, you know that you have to refer your passive hand to know what is your potential, what potential are you born with, but what are you actualizing, what are you translating into action. Now let's move on to the fingerprints, the tip of your fingers. Now the few signs that you can check out, look out for. There's one whorl. I don't know how is it pronounced, but in Hindi we call it chakra. Whorl. Okay. It's like a tornado. It from larger circle to going into deeper circles, like a pit. And then you have your shank or loop, and then there are arches. So naturally, if you can, I must say, you would not get this information anywhere else, because this is something that I interpreted out of my observation and experience. But does it mean that it's the last word? Obviously not. This is my interpretation. Everyone has their own interpretation, whichever sits well with you. We only know that there are certain signs. How we interpret it is our deal. Okay. Now there are mounts also. Mounts is the hillock kind of a thing on our hands. So this is mount of Jupiter, this is mount of Saturn, this is the ring finger. The ring finger is has at its base mount of Venus. If you thought that I'm going to say Apollo or Sun, no, that's not what I'm saying, and I'll talk to you about why am I doing so. And this is mount of Mercury, right? Um, so now you know that there are few signs like these. What do they mean according to me? I'll talk about it. And there are mounts. Why are they even there? What can you interpret? See, we are all born with a certain lessons that we were meant to learn, and which we left unlearned in whichever existence uh, we were in prior to the present one. So it's there are the all the solutions in the world, all the religions in the world, all everything technology in the world, they're reflective of the problems. So a certain religion reflects the problems of that particular time, that's a solution to those problems. Technology, problems that a man has solving a certain thing. So that's how technology is developed. Your palm and your mounts, what mount is developed, it is an answer, it is a solution to the problem that you had. You are the lesson that you're meant to learn. You are equipped with certain tools. Those tools are those mounts. Those mounts, if developed, cool, realize your potential. If they are not developed, there are ways that you can still, according to Vedic science, there are ways you can work on them, and I'll speak about it in a while. Okay. Now the second page has certain illustrations. Each finger, each finger stands for something. Now, purely from medical point of view, Ayurvedic medicine, pathy says there are elements that each finger is attached with, and it is so accurate, you can't get more accurate than that. Now, since our thumb is connected to our digestive fire, which is responsible for our vitality. It is connected to, you can connect it to, is it visible? Even if it is not, I'll speak out loud. This is fire. So, since it is all the nerves connected to our stomach are connected to our thumbs, that's how acupressure is also. This is the principle acupressure also works on. So, and your index finger, it's connected to lungs, so air. Then your middle finger, it's connected to circulation, so ether. Your ring finger to to earth, because it's all about helping the annamaya, or the solid stuff that you eat, and its conversion to your muscles. That's greatly facilitated by liver. So, and liver is connected to the middle finger. Then little finger is connected to kidney. So if you have if you means anyone has a kidney problem, then the acupressure, you apply uh, you apply you apply force to certain points on the little finger. That's how it is solved. So this is the medical part of it. The astrological part of it is something else. And why it is something else, that's also we can learn. Since index finger is connected to water, because mount of Jupiter, which is at the base of the index finger, it is exalted. It is exalted because the energy is flowing. Now forget about exalted. You would not know what is exalt, what's how what is debilitating forces, what are exalting forces. Just remember one thing: all the energy in our body is flowing through our hands and from the hands to our body. So the energy that is flowing in our body, when it reaches our hands, it gets all these it gets gravitated towards big chunks that are known as mounts. Now those chunks are those topographical features are something that we are born with. Then after whatever leftover energy is left remains, travels to our fingers, because that's how we are going to do work. Okay. So, what energy is going where is decided by the magnet which is kept. So, all the energy which is connected to expansion and wisdom goes into the index finger to attract that energy. Mount of Jupiter has to be kept here, which is the name of the circular magnet, which would attract that energy. Then Saturn, Mount of Saturn, it is exalted in all air signs. So all the energy in our body which flows into our hand, it has to, when it has to, the leftover energy, whatever energy that will maintain balance of mind, body, psychology, whatever, all that balance will come through Saturn. Work life balance, right? So that will come through Saturn. So that energy would be attracted by a magnet called Mount of Saturn. And then this is Mount of Venus. Unlike what we know, mm, because I'll tell the because later on. So, all that energy which is connected to maintaining our existence in the most refined form will be attracted to this particular finger. And then finally, little finger, what's the use of it? Little finger is the smartest finger. It'll help you earn money. So that's connected to Earth. So while you're on Earth, the currency matters. When your spirit travels to another planet, another universe, our our currency would not have any significance there. So everything connected to this planet is connected to the little finger. All right. So the gist of it is, you will obviously not remember everything. So either watch again And better still is, this is just an introduction. Research on your own. This is the astrological paradigm, and this is the medical paradigm. How are they both connected? This is something that you are born with, everyone is born with. So, and the approach that you should take to bring the best out is medical. So, if you want your earthly um, features to improve, flow, flow, flow like ideas, flow like words, flow like hormones, flow like anything that flows will nourish earth. Any fire, this is fire according to astrology. How it can be addressed? It can be addressed through earth. So you will get your respect, you will get your reputation, you will get luxuries if you have enough earthly comforts. You will get balance. If you have strength of your thoughts are clear, your ideas are clear, you have you have clarity of vision. Your water. Okay, so this is water. So what does water represents? Your emotions. So your emotions will be would be taken care of if your um if you have clarity in the concepts of life. So this is what you can achieve, and how you can achieve is through elements. So refer those things. So how does it connect to the career bit? It is connected to the career bit because whichever mount is more developed is something that you need to pay attention to. And again, I was talking about that this is sun, sorry, this is mount of Venus, this is not mount of Apollo or sun, because whatever gives us energy is sun, the light of sun and the light of moon, and they are at the lower portion of our hand, this portion. Just a moment. This portion. So this is sun, this is moon. So this nourishes your emotions, this nourishes your active life. Right. What next? Finger point. Okay, yeah, yeah. Now whorls and chakras and shank, or whorls or loops. So when I was young, I was always told that whorls or the chakras are very important to have. But my observation and whatever text I read was that this gives the loops give you direction. Whorls is a pit. So let's say your mount of Jupiter is quite developed. So since it is developed, it will attract more energy because of gravitation. Bigger objects attract more energy. Okay, so energy will flow to your mount of Jupiter, and it will flow up. And upper part is the cardinal sign, Karmindri. Okay, so that's how you can put things into action. The middle part are the fixed sign, and the lower portion are the mutable sign. There is an illustration of that, so I'll come to that later. So what was I? Hmm. Yeah. So whorls is something a pit. According to me, a very personal opinion, they are not the best signs if you're looking for a sorted life. But if you're looking for an enlightened life, whorls are best. Chakras are best then, because this is a pit that you fall into after reaching the tip, and that's all your energy goes centripetal, centrifugal, centripetal, centrifugal, and that's how. But here, in loop, either you live for yourself or for people, but there is a start of something, end of something. It's not like you're entrapped like in chakra or holes. Okay. Okay. So one or two chakras are fine, three, four are also good, but too many of them would mean that you are lost in your own world. You love solitude, you want to do things according to your way, and since you don't invest into people, people would eventually stop investing in you, and then you will get super sensitive that nobody cares for me. So that's the downside of having a whole. So it'll be good if your mount is developed, but at the same time, if you want to have material success, if those mounts should be accompanied by loops, not whorls. But if you feel that you are born to bring out, unearth something awesome, then whorls are good. Scientists could have them. So, and with some luck, and luck is something that I don't know about. There are ways, there mark there are markings, but I never consciously learned about them, because if you study about luck and bad luck, and if you don't happen to have the right markings, you just may get too complacent. So, yeah. So those are the things. Your mount is developed and it is accompanied by loops. That's shrunk. Good for you. You will reach success. If it is accompanied by whorls or chakra, there might be, you have 50-50% chances. If you come out of the pit with something awesome that you found in the at the um, beneath below the pit, at the bottom of the pit, cool, because you're coming out with something so new, so path breaking. Person with loop will not waste time in that. They are just too focused on having material success. And about arches, they're just like speed breakers. Do it. People with arches in their as their fingerprints, they just do their thing and they move on. They're hardly concerned with things in life. So last bit was phalanges or phalanx, as we know it. Now there are people who would say that this particular phalanx stand for this, that will stand for that, whatever, whatever. My own interpretation, or what I deduced, which may or may not be right, but this is something I have found even when I refer to my own hand, and which I will not talk about, but which you could find out on your own, for your own hand, because that's the best thing. Why refer to somebody? Why do you refer yourself, your hand, to anybody else? If you know bits and pieces, put things together. So this is the mutable sign, because all kinds of energy may flow here. All right. So, and it'll filter out the right energy. Now according to Vedic astrology, Vedic palmistry, this is the hand, this is your index finger, is the finger of water. Water exalts Jupiter. Jupiter is for expansion. So, the top of water, which is a cardinal sign, which is which water sign stands for starting new things? Cancer. So this is what it is. So if your cancer is small, your cardinal part, the topmost portion is small. You don't put things into action. You may have great ideas. See, the phalanx in the middle are all big, okay, and the topmost are shorter. This is not good. And if this is big, and the small ones and the other ones are small, you're not putting too much thinking, and you're just jumping into action. So if your index finger's topmost phalanx is big, you're just ambitious, and you're a go-getter. You say your thing, you do your thing, not much thought is going into it. If your middle finger's topmost phalanx is big, like super big, abnormally big, you may be having very staunch opinions about philosophies, ideas, everything that's connected to air, basically. What is air? It doesn't have emotions. Air just flows. It is pure technology. And technology, in good sense, technology is a way, a discipline. Okay, so good. You also can connect it to religion, because religions are, according to me and according to many, are just a way to discipline your life. If you're it's like an instruction handbook to discipline your life. If you like that book, you follow that religion. If you like another book, another discipline, it's like taking humanities or commerce or science or whatever in your after your 10th standard. So if this one is in the ring finger, if the topmost phalanx is too big, you're just too worried, too your mind is preoccupied with earthly stuff. Earthly stuff, since it is fire and it can be, as I spoke about earlier, it's all about fire. Fire is, it shines, it's attractive. And how can you attract people? How can you attract energies if you have too much earthly possessions? So if your topmost phalanx is too big, you're too occupied, and it is abnormally big. If it is big, cool, but if it is abnormally big, you're just too concerned about your style, your how you come across to people. Mm. And and how do you feed it? How do you feed it? Through earthly stuff. So you may end up possessing, hoarding a lot of stuff. Then this lower one, the little finger. Little finger, according to Vedic palmistry, stands for, see, to see, earth. Earth, right? It stands for earth. And how can you balance it? What can you feed it? This earthly finger, what will it be fed? It will be fed Mercury, and Mercury stands for earthly finger will be fed all uh, all flowy things, like, um, flowy things that I spoke about. I was suddenly blank. I've been speaking for a lot of time. I've been speaking for a long time. Okay. And yeah. So how can you make your earthly stuff, that's your business, your possessions, strong? If you have good flow, because it stands for, um, uh, in medical astrology, medical palmistry, it stands for water, but in astrology it stands for earth. So this earthly finger can be made stronger if your water element, if first of all your kidneys are in great shape, and if not, uh, make it okay. We are just going to talk about mudra. That's the last leg of this video, which already is too long. And so if your water element is in perfect order, that is, everything that flows, that's communication, your words, your ideas, your hormones, which may give you strength. So if that's in order, there are greater chances for success. And of course, when your amount of mercury is strong. Now, you may not be born with excellent amounts. What you can do, there is a solution to everything. According to Vedic astrology, there are mudras. Mudras is, um, that this one particular stands for, this is the mount of Apollo. Many books would say mount of Venus, but it doesn't make sense. This will nourish the first two fingers, and the mount of Luna would nourish the last two, that these two fingers. Okay. So this one is the life force. So if some mount is underdeveloped, what you do, give your finger energy by putting your thumb at the base of the finger. So since the finger mount of sorry, the middle finger is leaning towards the ring finger, which means something else that I'll speak about in a while. But then nourish it. It's like watering, your giving life force to your middle finger so that it mounts develop. One thing that's permanent are the finger markings. Fingerprints never change, but the mounts, how much they are bulged and how underdeveloped they are, they can change. Then mount of sun. That's how you nourish your underdeveloped mounts. And if it is already too developed, put back energy by uh, touching the base of the finger to the base of the thumb. You can balance your energy like this by touching the fingertips, that is thumbs and the whatever finger you want to balance. That's how. That are mudras. What about the leanings of the finger? The leaning of the finger shows that whatever energy that you have in that particular finger is quite influenced by the neighbor's energy. So, since um, most of us have our balance, the finger that stands for balance, that's the middle finger, tilting either towards index finger or ring finger, you can just make connotations accordingly. So, the balance is of your life is more towards your ambition. That is there. You're more concerned with your ambition, your work, then your middle finger would tilt towards or lean towards index finger. If you're more concerned about how you are how people see you, and if you're always if you feel torn between happiness and duty or responsibility, that's when it will tilt towards ring finger. So anyways, what how and of course the headlines and the heart line, just see where it terminates, whatever mount it terminates under. That is something which will help you see your career better. So it's not that if your headline is very long, it means you are very smart. It just means that you can use your potential. You've been given the potential of using your brain power to the optimum. Just see where it leans. Is it going towards Mount of Mercury? Then go towards business. If it is going towards Mount of Luna, but don't confuse yourself. Basically, just check out the 10th house of your horoscope, then check out the markings on your fingertips. That's whorl and loop and arches. And if it is about too many whorls, just make sure you consciously channelize your energy so that it gives some results and you don't get stuck in a pit. Okay, just try consciously to come out of that pit. And about mount of whatever mount it is, just those are the mounts that you're born with a certain potential with. So mount of Jupiter, you're born with the potential to expand through wisdom, ambition, confidence, speech. And if your mount of Saturn is well developed, you are too good at um, managing your responsibility, being balanced in your life, having perfect judgment. If your mount of it's called Apollo, but then it is if your mount of Venus is well developed, that is the whatever mount is there at the base of the uh, ring finger, that will give you um, an astuteness about your mm, artistic abilities. And then little finger, business, communication, uh, mm, flow of ideas, technology. So yeah, you can have your own interpretation. This is the long and short of things. Okay. Finally, also check out your the headline and heartline, where are they terminating, and whatever palmistry that talks about that if there is this marking, you are dead. This is how when your death will come. Just I completely detest those sites. Don't die before death comes. Every day is a new lease of life. All right, so I hope if you were around and if you stuck around, cool. Thank you.